interns. This is Danny Matthews, your instructor. I am bringing you a fun quiz today. I'm sure you'll all enjoy it. Now, it actually is quite important, though, because this quiz has information that you should know by now. In fact, it's called What You Should Know by Now. So you all had been in Project Search for a couple of months, and there were several things gone over during that time that you will need to remember as you continue Project Search, and then as you get out there into your jobs later on. So I'm going to go over how the quiz will work. So what you're going to need to do is get something to write with, something to write on, and you'll number your paper as you see here, 1 through 10. And so that means for each slide, there's a question, and you'll need to provide a corresponding answer to that question. So go ahead and write those numbers down on your paper. I'll give you a second to do that. And remind you while you're writing these numbers down that it's important now more than ever to wash your hands. And I'll be bringing you some more information at a future time. All right, so let's go ahead and check out our first question. Okay, first question. If you have blank, you will attempt to understand and share another person's experiences and emotions. So what goes in that blank? You should know this. I'll give you a second. Okay, now, second question. Name a topic that is appropriate for discussion in the workplace. There are several different answers that will work for this. So just think about the practice that we did for workplace conversations and the talks we had about that. See what you can remember there. All right. And the third question is, name a topic that is not appropriate for the workplace. Now, we have talked about this as well several different times. We've done some practice, some role playing on that. And again, this is one where there's several different correct answers that you can choose from. So hopefully none of you will have a problem coming up with one. All right, on. If an intern blank, the intern will be immediately dismissed from Project Search. Okay, so there are, again, several different answers that will be correct for this one. So just think back to that dismissal policy that we reviewed several times and see if you can remember one of those items that will get you dismissed. And let's move on. Question 5. If an intern blank, the end be suspended from Project Search. So in this one, you need to remember one of those things that if you do it as an intern, you will have some consequences, such as being suspended. So what is one of those things that could go in that blank? All right. Question 6. What are some environmental factors to consider before accepting a job? Now, we only talked about this a couple of times probably, but there are some that are quite simple and seem kind of obvious once you got it. So what were things that are so important that go along with your skills and your interests, and they're just as important as those things when it's time to find a job? All right. Question. Refusing tasks as a supervisor is called blank. What would that be? What goes in that blank when you refuse to do what you've been assigned? All right. Question 8. If you do what your supervisor tells you to do, you behave disrespectfully to your supervisor while doing so, you're guilty of blank. So It's not that you do it, it's that you did it with a bad attitude. Or maybe you did it in a way that was not very high quality. What is that called? All right, question 9. True or false? It's acceptable to ask another intern or hospital assistant to go on a date with you. True or false? Okay, one more to go. Is the consequence for violating one of the guidelines from the suspension list a second time? So remember, there are consequences. There are consequences at stake if you violate one of the guidelines from the suspension list. The first time, you'll have a certain consequence. The second time, and so on. In this question, I'm asking, what happens if you violate guidelines a second time? So back to that dismissal policy. Okay,